Welcome, guys, to Rebel Rock. I am Dan. Next to me is Richard Brian Kahn. And this week we have a fun episode because we're going to rank our favorite Van Halen records. And I guess that would include some of the worst as well, because we went through pretty much the whole catalog and we were listening, we were doing some research. I know, Richard Brian Kahn, you grew up with Van Halen, correct?
Of course. Yeah. My dad, he played all those records when I was little. And then probably in the 80s era is when it turned a little bit. He wasn't really buying them as much, obviously. But yeah, I listened to that stuff when I was a kid. And I didn't know what it was even until I figured out what it was, later on. So I got lucky.
Yeah, well, for me, I right out the gate, I was turned on to all that stuff. So 9, 10 years old, I knew the first Van Halen record really well. And I knew a few of the other albums as a kid, but it's weird. This whole week, we've both been spending time diving into the catalog and kind of refreshing, because the problem is with Van Halen, it's like you know the hits, but then the stuff in between the hits it gets a little foggy, because they were pumping out records there at a rapid, especially in the late 70s, early 80s. They were
Yeah.
like one after another. So it gets a little hazy on what's what, but that's our main event tonight. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Um, we what we do on this channel always is we like to pick up new music at the thrift, add to our collection.
Yes.
Richard Brian Kahn, any luck this week at the thrift finding some music?
Just the other day, actually. But I found some CDs. I paid up on them a little bit because I don't find anything anymore. And I went to a Goodwill, so I had to pay up. But there's no scratches on them, and I found a pretty decent vinyl. But it's all pretty much from a Goodwill. So
So what are those, like $2 a CD? Is that how they do it for the most part?
yeah, it used to be cheaper, I think, and they raised it. Maybe it wasn't. I really don't remember. But you don't get any deals. But if you can find some stuff that's worth $2 to you, pretty cool. If you go to a record store that still has used CDs, they're not going to be probably $2 if it's something me and you are looking for. Let's just say that. But I'll show some stuff right here. So I got this PJ Harvey. It's her second album.
I feel like that was a pretty big one too, wasn't it? She had some success on that.
So I have the first one and the third one. Now I have the second one. That's pretty much all I want. I think there's a one still in the 90s after that, but these ones are really good, in my opinion. So I'm glad to have that. That was cool. We're stoked on this. I posted this in your friends group.
Oh yeah, that Flaming Lips record. Which that is that the one with jelly or Vaseline?
That's the one before it.
It's the one before. So what I'm trying to think, what is the big song? Maybe there wasn't a big hit off of that one.
No, there was nothing big off this one. It was so you don't use jelly or that song or whatever.
Yeah.
That put them on the map, I guess, on MTV. But this is the follow up, and it's not bad. It's not bad. I like kind of a couple
You
years
never
after.
see it though. That's the thing. You come across something like that for $2. You never see it. You might as well grab it. That's
I
cool. It's
love
got the
that too.
green.
That's really cool that they put it that huge for some reason right there. Pretty cool. Found this first Eels. Novocaine for Soul is like a hit off that.
Oh, that's the record that has Novocaine for the Soul.
Yeah. So this is their first album.
Yeah, that was
So
that was a huge hit too.
Yeah, we're in high school when this came out. That's pretty cool. Has parental advisor? Weird.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I've never actually seen, or I've never seen a copy of that in the wild.
Me either. I mean, it's like they obviously didn't listen to it because it's like
Brand new.
yeah, there's not a scratch on that motherfucker. I found some pop punk stuff that I know you like, so I want to get into these eventually, I guess. I just haven't got into them yet.
All right, so on the left there, you got Nerf Herder, which was a big record for them, kind of put them on the map. And on the right is a band called Ash from Ireland, and the album's called 1977, which they had a couple songs on the Angus soundtrack, which are wonderful, and they're on that 1977 album. So both really solid releases. I was pretty pumped when you found that. Those are great for the collection.
They have a song called Van Halen, bro.
Oh, they do. How fitting is that?
Really cool. So I'll check these out. You told me they're pretty good. And I've heard of these bands, I know I've seen these on 120 Minutes, back in the day. So I figured I'd pick them up, regardless if I wanted them or I'd throw them to you. You want me to keep going or you want to do some?
Yeah, I'll pop in. Let's I guess when I went out, I had some luck just like you, but I luck out because my thrift store is 50 cents. So, and
Yeah,
a bunch of them came out, and I was just shocked. We found this Red Cross
nice.
phase shifter, which you never see Red Cross stuff.
Really,
90s. I mean, these guys have been around for years and years, kind of all over power pop, glammy, punky. A really good find. One of my favorite albums, Shane MacGowan from the Pogues, but this is like a solo album called The Snake. It's got fucking Johnny Depp on it. All right.
he's back.
Um,
I saw.
what's that?
He's back on the red carpet. I saw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So the chance of finding this at a thrift, you're just you're not gonna see it. Shane MacGowan shit. It's on point. We
never seen.
found Two Hives records.
Nice. I know.
Hives are one of those bands I skipped out on. I was like, I don't know how I feel about them. Going back now, I'm like, the Hives are fucking awesome. Do you know much about them?
I know I got some promo stuff, from being in a band, going to radio stations and stuff, getting free CDs. I know I had some Hive stuff, coming home, listen to it in the car, doing interviews and dumb stuff like that.
Really good garage rock, punk rock, garage rock stuff. Super tight, really good live too.
Do they still?
Yeah, I think they are still active as a band, actually.
That's cool.
Yeah. We found Big Audio Dynamite's greatest hits.
Nice. Stickers are dope.
Yeah, it's great. I feel like I found this 3 or 4 times over, but every time I find it, I grab it because it's so good. Found this, the Maytals, which is Toots and the Maytals, Monkey Man. It's a really nice kind of slip cover here.
It's amazing.
Yeah, beautiful packaging. It's a Trojan release, so once again, you don't come across a lot of the Trojan stuff, which is all that ska and reggae stuff. This has a bunch. What's that, Richard Barncon?
Reggae in general, I think. Peepin' Tom's the first song. That's song.
Yeah.
Reggae.
So on point. Found a Sleater Kinney CD, which part of that later Riot Girl movement in the 90s. Solid stuff. I don't come across their stuff very often either. Are you familiar with them?
I am. They're definitely in there when that alternative thing started. They had their videos on MTV, I think, more like on 120 Minutes, obviously not during the day, but I think they had their time. But, they never blew up or anything, but they were good.
Yeah, super respected. And we also got a Bright Eyes CD, Lifted, which is a really good album too. I used to hate Bright Eyes so much. I don't know. I was just the age where it just didn't make any sense. Then you go back on it and you're like, man, Connor knows how to write some damn good songs. And this is no different. Lifted is really, really good.
My wife likes them.
Yeah, my girlfriend, it's like her favorite. So I think that's like a common theme, I guess. Well, what else you got?
All right. I got this. I didn't have this Prince record,
All
so it's
right, so that's
sorry. Go ahead.
is that a late? That's got to be a later one, right?
It's from '96. So this is like the last one with his like symbol when he was under the symbol. So it's just songs I guess Warner Brothers put out after he left Warner Brothers. So it's just jams and stuff with new power generation basically.
So we can assume that it's not a great album by any means.
I don't think it was supposed to be an album. Basically, it was just like the stuff he had for maybe something else, and they used it and they put it out. So more. This is obviously what he was trying to show is that they were like using them and just doing whatever they wanted with his music at that point.
Yep, I
But he
remember
became
that whole thing.
Prince again. So, but he wasn't even on Warner Brothers, I guess, when this came out. So this is '96. Yeah. So, but I didn't have that. But I got this, which you picked up last week. Kind of cool.
Yeah, so that it's the Great White CD, which is so there's Once Bitten and then Twice Shy, and they're two separate albums, and they came out 2 years apart, which is
Weird.
very interesting. Yeah, I mean, cool find right there, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would have grabbed that anyways if you didn't show it. I think I had it. I have it on a cassette. But found this.
Is that Tool?
Yeah, this is, in my opinion, this is their best album. Like, you don't need to listen to any Tool except this, because everything just new or after this sounds like this. I might get some Tool haters on here, but I had this, and so when I found it, it didn't have like the full sleeve. It was like partial, but at least had the thing on the front that makes it, do that.
I feel like there was a slipcover version of that too, right? There's some sort of deluxe packaging.
Yeah, but this came out first, I would say. So I had this, and this is actually mine. I got rid of the thing inside, but you can fit that eyeball. Hold on, I'm trying to find it.
I remember this was like an art project.
Eyeball. Yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Always thought that was really cool.
Really clever
Yeah,
on their
this is where
marketing.
Tool lost me after this, but I wasn't. I don't know. I was in high school. I was out of high school, probably 19, maybe 18 when this came out. But even my like hippie buddies, they were listening to that. It was weird, but really good record by Tool. Check that out. If you want to check Tool out, just listen to Anima. It's called Anima.
Yep.
AE. It's weird. I don't know what that's in. The other thing has the guy like going down on himself that you can do inside, so I'm not going to do that. I found this at my local record store, Ministry. Just a Ministry record I don't have. I don't know if anybody likes Ministry, but I kind of like them.
I like
Real
that first
weird.
record, but yeah, after that, it's it's hit or miss. I can take songs or leave them, but
Just cool to find this stuff. I never see it, so I happen to come across that going through CDs. All right, two more.
all right.
You know
I
these?
don't No, I've never heard of that band.
Just like
Machines
that,
of Loving Grace?
yeah, that's like barbed wire around somebody. It's like industrial, I guess. It's not on the. It's not as good as Ministry or like Nine Inch Nails or anything, but they're probably like right underneath on that cusp. So it's pretty cool to see this stuff. I don't see it. And another band that was industrial before industrial. There.
Oh, Therapy?
This is like a live album of B-sides. It's like 6 songs. Pretty weird I found this actually. Not a fan of them by any means, but I've never found any of their records. But I've always known about them from looking up like industrial like history and like when people started doing, what Ministry and Nine Inch Nails were doing and stuff. Which they didn't start, obviously.
I mean, it's all solid finds. So I went to the record store. It's right next to my work. There's a record store, and I never go, but I went the other day after work. And how do you feel about this? All right, I had to pick it up. This Bill Cosby record, but it's like based on the Fat Albert, what
Yeah,
would become.
it's Foul Albert though. So
Exactly. So I'm like, and it was $1. So I'm like, man, you can't get like every record store now is just like throwing Bill Cosby stuff away because
yeah,
obviously he was convicted. So I'm like trying to separate what he did from the art, and I'm like, man, I don't know. The art's so good on this that I'm like,
he's like half and half for me. Like he did so much for people and black people back then, but then all this stuff that like blow up on him like that, or what he did, I'm just kind of like half and half. Like I'm glad what he did, but at the same time, I'm like, dang, why did you do all that too? So
I know it's
uh,
heartbreaking because he did so many wonderful things, and I'm like, God, you went and ruined it. To the point now, it's like you like his art, but it's like Michael Jackson's the same thing, and nobody cares. They'll still buy all Michael Jackson stuff.
it's crazy. He rented the speakers Martin Luther King did a speech on back then. Like he brought them there so he could talk to people there. Like he funded all that. It's crazy.
It's
It
nuts.
just became a douchebag, I guess. So
We also found this Lords of the New Church "Open Your Eyes" 7-inch single.
mm, I know you like them.
I love them. So the fact that I found a 7-inch by them, it's you just don't see this stuff, and it cost me $8, but
Still,
um, I'm never gonna see it again. So I was like, I'll pop on it. Um, Also made a trade with my buddy this week and picked up a bunch of tapes from him. We got some singles.
nice.
Tina Turner, the best.
Oh yeah,
Picked up Eternal Flame, the Bangles. Picked up Free Fallin', Tom Petty single.
nice. It's out of tune on that song, but it's still good.
Extreme, More Than Words.
Oh shit.
That was a huge one.
Let's set that aside for later.
Yeah. Uh, Debbie Gibson, Out of the Blue.
She was tight. Def-
Really was. We got a Night Ranger album.
Never dabbled.
Later, Rod Stewart, Out of Order.
My mom,
We got a couple Aerosmith. We got Rocks. We got Draw the Line, which is a wonderful album too. New Jersey by Bon Jovi, which really great record. And you always forget how good it is until you put it on and you're like, God damn, I know every song on this.
yeah.
Um,
Radio loves Bon Jovi. Oh shit.
we got some Van Halen. This is a bit of a preview. Balance right there.
Ooh. Oh, that one's terrible, but we'll get into that. Oh,
Keep the faith.
the last good one.
It was the last good one. Aerosmith, Permanent Vacation,
Nice.
which I had as a kid.
Yeah, my dad had that on vinyl.
Self-titled Aerosmith. Mr. Big.
Oh shit.
A couple more tapes. What else? Oh, Tiffany.
Dang. Runner up to Debbie Gibson.
Yep. George Michael.
Yeah,
Faith.
that's a good album. It is.
It really is solid. In this Hall and Oates. Big Bam Boom.
Nice. I've never listened to that.
Nor had I. So a pretty good little trade right there. I was pumped. He didn't want the tapes. It used to be his mother's, so he was like, "Yeah."
Those are always great when tapes survive.
Oh, I know it. So I guess we got a comment here. GW. Oh, Debbie Gibson just released a new album. All right, that's news to me. Well, thanks for letting me know that. There's no way you can capture that charm that those albums had early on in the 80s.
It's like mall rock.
And it was good. It was catchy. It was fun. Now it's like, overproduced,
Yeah,
overproduced all of
Debbie
it.
Gibson sucks. Nobody was saying Debbie Gibson sucks. They were like,
So the main event, here we go. We're gonna go through and list our favorite. Just gonna rank all the Van Halen albums here. That's what we're doing. Um, do you want to start out with the? So we'll start at the bottom, and you go your worst, and we'll see if it lines up. Yeah, I got my notes right here too.
so we're starting at the bottom.
We're starting at the bottom and working our way to the best album.
Okay. So the 2012 release, Different Kind of Truth.
All right, so that's in last place for you.
Well, no, I wasn't listening. I thought we were just going through them each at a time. So you want me to start with my top three first? I'm
The
sorry.
very bottom, the worst album out of the whole
Oh,
catalog.
worst. Oh, geez.
Yeah, and then we're just gonna kind of like go up until we hit our favorite albums. So,
Van Halen 3 is their worst.
all right. So I figure we were both gonna agree on that. That's at the bottom of my list too. It's with Gary Sharon from Extreme.
Number one.
Number one worst album of all fucking time by them. What just
And the
garbage.
the first song is an instrumental, which makes you go, bro. They're like, we don't even want you to hear this garbage. And the Extreme singer sing over this bullshit. It's so bad. It's just even the music. It's not the singer's fault. The music is trash to begin with, and then he has to come in, third singer of Van Halen, and sing over this garbage and make it good. It
Yeah,
was a
it was an impossible task, and we'll get more into it why I think that probably was. Uh, so we both had that at the bottom. The next worst album for me was probably Balance, which you saw I had the cassette. That was a Sammy Hagar album, but the production, it was late. It was late, and the production's awful. It's really dated to the time period, and it lacks any sort of hits on there.
terrible. But I have a cool story about one song.
Okay, let's
I
hear it.
was in high school and I was doing acid, and I had to go to a band thing because I played trombone in high school in band. And I was like, fuck it, I'm staying up all night. And we had to get on a bus to go to some competition. I'm like, I'm taking this acid. And all night I heard that song, Can't Stop Loving You. It's terrible. It was so terrible. Don't do acid, people. But I just kept hearing it all night. I can't stop loving you.
Oh, yeah. All right. What do you got for the next album?
Sorry, that was a bad story. But
That was
the
pretty good. I mean, I don't.
song though, I can't believe that was in my head. Like, uh,
Let me guess. Do you have Unlawful
Cake.
Carnal Knowledge?
I don't own that because it's trash. But Pound Cake is the first song on that, where he's like talking about cooking up in the kitchen some pound cake. It's so bad. It's the
I,
first song
I
on
know, but at least it's kind of memorable. But that album also has Runaround on it, which is solid. Right Now is a solid song as far as like pop goes.
that was
Top
like
of the World, I don't care. It's like pop song, but it's a really good pop song.
so for unlawful carnal knowledge was spelled fuck. That's what they're supposed to call the album, but they wouldn't let them, so they put it as a is that acronym or pseudonym?
Yeah, I do believe so.
So it spells fuck, and it fucking sucks.
I
Sorry, bros.
I mean, like it's
Not
it's
good.
all I can listen to it. It's not there's I mean, there's worse things out there. What did you think of Different Kind of Truth when David Lee Roth came back to the band back in 2012 to do that album?
So I looked up that those were old songs they had when he was in the band still, and they redid them. So they were like, I guess, just random songs they had that he never put out. So what he sang on, I guess, is those, and the rest are something else, I guess. But that's what I looked into that because I'm like, did he really just come back and they wrote like cool songs? But no,
It's not a bad album. I'm like,
not at all.
it's listenable. I mean, it just lacks, it's the you're 2 decades later and they're trying to recreate the magic that they originally had, and I don't
Yeah.
know.
They've been trying to recreate it since 5150, and you see the decline over time, in my opinion.
Um, all right, pick another album here.
Of bad stuff.
Yeah, we're still talking about
I'm gonna
on the
go with, I really don't like Van Halen too. I don't think there's much really awesome, and I don't think it's that band's fault at the time. I think they were rushed probably into that. They didn't have the material.
I was thinking I had that on the list too. That's on the bottom half too of mine where I'm like, I love Beautiful Girls, which is on that album. Dance the Night Away is all right, but
Mhm.
it does feel like they pumped out another album to try to capitalize on
Yeah.
what was going on, and
Dan
it hurt them.
Dance the Night Away is definitely the best song on that album, and it's a really good song, but it just seems like a rush job. And at that time period, it looks like they put out 6 records in 6 years, so that's pretty challenging,
I
touring,
think so.
putting out music, so
Um, on the bottom half of my list, I have the OU 812 album.
So,
It's
will you agree with this on me? Sammy Hagar's best songs with Van Halen, all 4 albums, had love in it. Why Can't This Be Love? Love Walks In. When It's Love? Can't Stop Fucking Loving You, bro.
no shit. I didn't think about that, but now it makes sense. And that's why you get it really confused. It's like all these hits, but I'm like, what album is that from? It's because it's
Bro,
like they just
it's
recycle it
all
every time.
it's all about the love. Like, he was only good on the love songs. He had to be like, "Love!"
Yeah, no, it's true. All right.
Bro.
Yeah, I didn't even have like like I
Dude,
was
Why
making
Can't This
notes.
Be Love? Oh my god, that's
Um, all right. So now
Feels So Good. Good song.
is that on that album, the OU?
Feels Yeah, that's on the OU. Yeah, and why are, their first 2 albums, like, letters and numbers? That's fucking stupid. Like, I hate that shit. Like, I understand the 5150, but what the fuck does OU 8112?
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Oh, I need that, what's it called? The O 81, 12 CD. Okay.
Well, we got a comment saying "Dreams" is my jam. I mean, "Dreams" is pretty good. It's a good tune. I like that. The thing is with Hagar, it's man, like the sappy shit he does it's really good in this cheesy kind of way, and it works. It really works well.
Get the video I sent you before we did that?
Yeah, I did watch that Twister soundtrack video.
So that was, like, their last thing, and they didn't even wanna do it together because they hated each other. But I guess the record company, so that's like a year after that last album, Balance, I wrote down, like, and I saw that they hated each other. They look uncomfortable in the video. They're like, it just
Yeah, no, it was awkward, and you got Eddie Van Halen singing in the video too. So he's
I
like, "I
know,
want to get
he
on this,
doesn't
even though I
want
can't
you here.
sing."
He doesn't want you here. That's what Eddie was saying. These are my lyrics. They probably were his. Who knows?
The last kind of shitty album I have on my Van Halen list is Fair Warning. I
Um,
think it falls into the same category as Van Halen 2 because it was
yeah,
rushed. You have Unchained on there, which is one of the best Van Halen songs, but other
probably
than that, it's a lot of filler.
that's a I mean, Unchained gets a lot of radio play. I mean, I probably heard that more on the radio as a kid than any Van Halen song, to be honest. Except like Jamie's Crying and stuff. Everything off the first album. But yeah, you're right. It wasn't on my list. Like that's why I don't want that on vinyl. Like if I find it on CD, I'll be happy. But I pretty much have my Van Halen that I want.
Um, should we move on? I guess now it's like the last 5 albums. So we can go and start listing our 5 favorite Van Halen albums. You go first. You say your 5th favorite.
Probably because of Love Comes Walking In song. I'm gonna go 5150.
All right, that's my 5th one too. So we're
And
both on the same.
number
That's a really
4.
good album, actually. The
Yeah,
production's on
yeah.
point. Sammy sounds great. Best of Both Worlds is on there. I mean, it rips. There's some rippers on there.
So number 4 with me would be Diver Down because it's just covers. That's pretty cool.
Weird. All right. All right. I have Diver Down in my 3rd spot because it has little guitars on there, which I love. I love that one. Yeah, I don't know. Has Happy Trails on there too, which is obviously a cover. Yeah, it's a lot of covers. All right, but
Pretty much
uh,
covers.
in my 4th spot, I had Women and Children, because it has Everybody Wants Some, which is one of the best Van Halen songs, and Cradle Will Rock also.
Got some good stuff. And that was my number 3.
Oh, and you got it right there.
It's not an original. It's like a later press.
Still.
Well, yeah.
Oh
Everybody.
my God, Captain Retro's in the house right now, and he's saying the Gary Sharon album. He's got respect for it. Van Halen 3? Come on now.
I have respect for Gary Sharon for having the balls to even try to do that because he knew what he was walking into. He knew. Come on, bro.
And I think he was writing the lyrics. I don't know if Eddie was writing the lyrics too. I don't if he was just given that shit. Who knows? I gotta do some more research on that. But
Worst problem being Van Halen with them.
what's your second favorite album?
All right, so that obviously that was number 3. My second one will be their first.
Oh, all right. This is the first real hot take here. So this is your number 2 position.
I mean, my number 2. Yeah, sorry. That's it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, this is great. Every song's good on this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's a perfect album. We talked about a little bit last week that I mean, I grew up with that album, and to me, it has there's
Yeah.
not a dud on there. I'll listen to the whole album all the way through.
So if you're
Um,
want to get into Van Halen, you start here, like every band. But this band, yes, start with number 1.
so I take it in your number 1 position, and my number 2 position is 1984. All right. No, it's a great album, and I forgot just how good it was until this week and kind of revisiting. Because I mean, Panama, goddamn, Panama is perfect. Hot for Teacher, All Wait, goddamn, and all the synth stuff on there is so damn good.
Yeah, they were better at synth than a lot of people at that time too.
They made it work, and a lot of hardcore fans were like, "Ah, oh, fuck the synth. Why is Eddie doing that?" I'm like, the synth is awesome.
Many good songs. Show. that.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
I don't know what that means, but that's pretty
So
cool.
I don't know what that is, but that's something.
Oh man, such great songs. So you got Hot for Teacher, House of Pain. Like everyone forgets about House of Pain. They end with that. It's amazing.
No,
John Panama, Drop Dead Legs. I mean, there's at least 6 hits on this, I think. That could have been hits on regular radio.
I mean, I hear Panama still and I lose my mind. I'm like, God damn, what a song.
So like this is my favorite because this is kind of the Van Halen I grew up on. Like this is what I heard on the radio, not like what my dad played in the house. Like, this was the shit, and I didn't know it, but I knew the songs. Like the keyboard, like he killed it on the keyboards on that album. And I think they tried to reproduce that on 5150, and it just didn't pan out. Sammy
A
Hagar.
little bit. I mean, like I said, 5150 is still a really solid effort, and there is some synth stuff on there that I don't mind as far
Love,
as that goes.
Love Comes Walking In has synth. Why can't this be love? But it's all about the love. Hagar needed love.
So yeah, that there's our ranking. It was pretty much on point. You know, there was a couple things that were out of order from each other, but for the most part,
Yeah, I think we're pretty much right.
pretty aligned on this. Yeah, that was the whole thing. And Captain Retro is saying Eddie's best songs are key based. Yeah, he doesn't respect John Corabi Motley Crue effort, but he likes Corabi's voice. I don't like Corabi. I don't like anything Corabi's ever done. Corabi stinks. That's where I'll leave it with that. A lot of people do enjoy some of his shit though, which I don't. I never understood. So yeah, Van Halen.
So what do you
That
think? Going back all through those records that were massively, seem to be popular, but now that you listen to them, you're like, they're not very good.
no,
But
I think at moments that there's just like song or album titles that become bigger than what they are, and in your head you think it means a whole lot more. But I do, as a kid, remember being like, I knew that Women and Children wasn't the best album. I knew that when I was that young, that the first album was much better than that album. So yeah, it hasn't really changed much other than it's crazy you can get away with having one or two singles and the rest of the album is filler and you still have a really awesome career.
yeah, so they had Hagar for 9 years, and they put out like a couple singles, but I'm sure like when they went on tour, they're playing all the hits from the original Van Halen songs. So yeah, they might have played "Why Can't This Be Love," but they were playing "Jamie's Crying." They were playing all that shit that everyone liked. So like, if they went around playing Van Hagar songs, like playing full the album, like people would be booing because they want.
Yeah, see, I was thinking of that. I'm like, I need to see some footage of Hagar singing some David Lee Roth stuff, which I
They
guess
are
I don't.
like, who would have went to them shows without hearing, "Dance the Night Away" or like "Jamie's Crying" or
But
1984 Jump. Like they weren't playing those. Like that doesn't make sense. So they
I personally don't know if they were or not, but I'm assuming that they would have. But if they hadn't, I mean, the catalog towards the end there was enough hits there with Eddie's playing. They could have filled up stadiums without the early stuff even being there.
maybe, I don't know. Just weird.
It's Eddie. It's Eddie's guitar playing. I mean, that's one of a kind, and the fact that the name was already there, so people are going to come out regardless.
I saw maybe I don't know how many years ago it was. Maybe like 7, 8. That Sammy Hagar and David Lee Roth went on tour together. Actually, at one point, doing their own solo stuff, like a tour.
I remember hearing about that too.
Yeah, and then it got like, David Lee Roth crazy. So he might have kung fu chopped him. I don't know what happened.
Captain Retro saying 84 is the best total album, but thinks they wrote better songs with Sammy. Hmm. It depends what you're looking for. Did they write better pop songs with Sammy? Probably, yeah, they did. They certainly did. As far as good rock and roll, though, you're not gonna beat David Lee Roth stuff.
Yeah, the guitar just is like boring. Whatever he's doing, it's just like nitpicky. Bing, 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 bing. It's like it's not really good. There's no
It
good riffs in the '90s. It's all synthesizers and keyboards.
Yeah, and I mean, Captain Retro is saying that he assumes they played the hits. Hagar has the range, and he does. I forgot just how good of a singer he was. You know, he's
Uh,
belting that shit out.
and that's why they got Sharon because he can sing higher, I think, than both of them. So they got him for touring, obviously, and they had to do an album. So that's crazy. David Sharon. Was that his name, David? Or Dave?
Yeah, well, that's gonna do it for I guess the Van Halen talk. But I mean, we can talk rock and roll. We still got another 19 minutes we're hanging out. So if anyone else has anything else to say, we can certainly do that.
Talk some shit.
Good rock and roll dies when you become as big as they did. They stayed in the charts because of Sammy. No, it's true. 100% that was what happened. Happens to all the bands. They never keep that fire going because it goes to their head. And all of a sudden, it's about how can we make more money? How can we get bigger?
Yeah.
And yeah,
They weren't good albums. They just needed a couple radio hits just to keep the Van Halen train going.
and it worked. I mean, they were all over
Yeah,
MTV. And we got another. Well, it's a statement. Punk rock is dead.
I don't think so.
In a lot of ways, it is, unfortunately. Just as rock and roll is just about dead too, unfortunately. Think about this. Out of all the bands, I was thinking about this. Like Foo Fighters are like the last like rock band that can play stadiums and releases new songs and they get airplay. Think about that. That are been around for more than 20 years. Chili Peppers were on there too. They were kind of, but Foo Fighters have hits every single year.
It's weird. I don't know any of them since I
Well,
was in high
if
school.
you heard the songs, you would know them. That's the thing. Even if you don't know, you do know. You work in a kitchen. I know you're forced to listen to some shit music.
I just really haven't dabbled in Foo Fighters since they were on MTV too much. It's pretty much back, 18, 19 years old. They lost me after that. I don't think they're a bad band, but I, I was never really into the Foo Fighters before. Anyway,
I
the
mean,
first
the
album,
first
there's
album
some
I
good
remember
songs on
having
there.
it was good. I mean, there's always been there's singles, you know, there's singles off of each album. It's like the Chili
Yeah,
Peppers in the last couple of years where it's like you know you're gonna get a couple singles, it's gonna be all right. So I don't that's like I can't think of other bands that are doing that that become like what do we have? We don't have an AC/DC style band
mhm.
that just
Change.
keeps pumping it out year after year.
Yeah, I did like a Stadium Arcadium by Chili Peppers when
Yeah,
Frusciante came back. There's some good Beatles. It sounds like a Beatles album to me, pretty much.
Californications I think is a wonderful album.
They got real Beatle-esque at that point, and they sounded better not being, like, funky all the time. I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't mind that. But, Blood Sugar is always has my heart. That's a
Yeah, that's the same for me. I was skateboarding to that when I was a kid,
oh my
and
god,
that was our
Flea's bass playing on that album is, like, monumental.
no, Captain Retro, I'm saying we have AC/DC still for that, but we don't have the equivalent of the next wave coming in that's got that longevity. When the Foo Fighters are like the closest thing you got, that there's something wrong there. Something's not adding up.
It's like, maybe that's why Courtney Love's going after him, saying he, like, did bad things to girls backstage. And Trent Reznor, you see that? Like, she's been saying that, and then her daughter was like, "You need to get off Instagram," and shit like that.
No, I'm glad I missed all that.
I
I mean,
She must be drinking. That's funny.
GW can't stand the Chili Peppers, you know?
I have friends that don't like them at all either. I understand too. Like, I get it.
It is fantasy, it is all hip hop now for the young folks, and it's crazy, and I was thinking about I'm like, "God, why is this?" And I still don't understand it, and what makes me not like it at all is the fact they don't sample anymore. The art of sampling is done because they're not gonna pay to get those samples when they can make really shitty, cheap beats.
Yeah.
So what's the point? So musically, you don't have it, and then the fucking the words and the rhyming, I don't wanna hear about Instagram, I don't wanna hear about fucking text messages, I don't want like no, I can't do it.
It's hard to relate to. Like, I get it, but, in a year or two, you won't hear about any of these people. Hopefully, they save their money that they make.
Yeah, no, well, hip hop's the worst because, they cycle their fucking stars in and out, like,
Yeah.
it's 6 months, you get a shelf life, and that's it, you're out, good luck.
Hopefully, face tattoos everywhere go away because it's getting a little absurd. Like, I enjoy a nice face tattoo. Like, you got some cute ones.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I got a little
Yeah,
heart there, but I had it before,
yeah,
it's like, this is stuff
I don't
yeah,
like
it's
what
just like mash your fucking face up, you
like that.
know?
They're not classy.
Hip hop, I guess, yeah, it's if it is easy. Um, I mean,
We
if
need
you
to drop a track. Maybe we'll blow up. Maybe we just start rapping, Dan. Let's do a project.
electronic music takes 0 talent. In a
No,
lot of ways, I mean, it does take talent to do it well, but the problem is it's really accessible and people the bar is so low now that people accept just about anything. And the production value, you're getting the same production from everyone because they're all using the same goddamn tools. There's nothing different. There's nothing they're not inventing anything. Run the Jewels is good hip hop. I agree 100%. That's smart, thoughtful. They got it
I've
going on. They know what's up.
I've seen LP at before he was in Run the Jewels open for Aesop Rock a long time ago, early 2000s. Auto Bar, Baltimore, Maryland. Underground
Oh,
hip hop show.
yeah,
LP was
I've rocked the Auto
really,
Bar before.
he doesn't sound like a white dude when he raps either, but he's really good. And Aesop Rock obviously was the highlight. But that's really cool. LP is the shit, and Killer Mike's awesome too. It's
Killer
amazing.
Mike, I love Killer Mike. Just
Yeah,
everything he does, the way he thinks, the guy's on point. He gets it. I love him.
they've like they're really good together. It's amazing.
Oh, it's a perfect duo. I was thinking about that too. You don't get duos anymore because nobody wants to split the money.
Yeah,
They wanna keep all the money for themselves, so why do a partnership where you're gonna split the money? And
and
that's unfortunate.
they make records. They're just constantly spitting out stuff. So they're musicians. They want to make music.
Yeah,
Like,
with thoughts and ideas that are different and outside the box to try to make things better, not just fucking the
uh,
same redundant shit.
they-
Lincoln saying his friend loves modern rap and will occasionally make him listen to it, and it really sucks. Yeah, that's the problem. All the fucking kids are listening to the same shit, and they all think they're individuals too. That's the best part. It's like, oh, listen to this. I'm like, that sounds just like the fucking other guy that this guy's playing. There's nothing there that makes me go, what the fuck is this? This is great. Let me hear some more of this.
they look like the younger kids at my work. Who try to show me like hip hop stuff on their phone 'cause they know I'm a musician and stuff, and they'll be like, "Oh," and I'll show them some, and they'll go, "How many views does it have?" Like they base stuff off views, not like if it's good. Like,
If it's
oh,
popular,
how many people have watched it? Then I'll watch it. Not like, oh, I kind of like this style of music. I'm gonna check it out. If it sucks, I'll turn it off. How many views does it have? I was blown away. I'm like, what? But I don't understand that. But I get it because that's how they think. So, not
well,
that.
Captain Retro just made a point. The plugins rule that world. It's true. Like if you have a computer, the plugins like they'll do all the work for you. you set it and forget it, really. And if you know how to market yourself, it's all about being hip, being in the scene, being seen, who you know, and then all of a sudden shit happens, obviously.
Yeah, that
Uh,
mumble rap's out though, I think. Mumble rap's gone. It's moving on. I think there's gonna be more people actually rapping because I think younger kids are finding hip hop artists like MCs is come it will come back, I think. MCs will come back. This shit right now is just like kids on pharmaceuticals. No, 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 no. And that's what they are into, you know. They're just like zoned out. They don't care.
Once again, it's like the emo pop shit that happened in the mid 2000s. Like everyone was listening to that. Now it's forgotten. It really is forgotten. So those things, like the trends come and go.
Yeah,
CM Retro, what's up?
they
We're
go
just
hard. I think
talking music over here.
mumble rap's going hard, I think. It's out. Just give it time.
I heard some new Kanye West tracks today.
I listened to that actually because I gave it a chance because I think he's a really good artist, whether or not I like his whole albums. But that last Jesus album, I thought wasn't really that bad. I gave it a chance because he did a Jesus album, and it was there's some bangers on there. It was really weird, and it's not something I'd listen to all the time, but I could appreciate it in a weird way. I don't want to buy it, but Donda, an hour and 30 minutes. It took me like 3 days to listen to that all the way through at work, but I did it. What do you think?
I wouldn't. I heard 2 tracks and I'm like, I can't do this. I cannot do this.
It gets
Production,
better. It gets better though.
I got no time. I got so much good music to listen to that I don't have time to listen to, that I'm discovering these artists and like really digging on, that Kanye, that I'm like, no. Nope. 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 Can't do it.
Yeah, I gave it a chance. It's not my thing, but I appreciate that he's like coming back with music. Kind of cool.
It's cool,
Yeah,
but it's all the fucking everything changed. It's just not. I feel like something's missing with that guy, really. But
no. Do you like him better than Drake though? They're beefing, obviously.
I don't like either one of them. Like to me, it's like the early Kanye stuff was wonderful. The first 4 albums, 5 albums, really good. But after that, it just got weird. He like got way too big, so he was out of touch.
He's a billionaire,
Yeah, so what? Like, there's nothing left to prove. So it's
and he's making weird music still. That's only why I listened. I'm like, why do you still care?
yeah. Trent Reznor produced Hazley's new C. I don't
Yeah,
who's this.
yeah.
I don't know what the
Pretty
fuck that
popular.
is.
I really listen to her. She's blowing up a little bit. She's naked. I think her boobies on the
I'm out of touch. I'm out of touch. Casey's just picking up Neo Geo games. That's what he's been doing. And hey, that's awesome.
It's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money and
Are
something I
they
would not be able to justify.
the common ones or the 500 plus? Jeez. Should have a
Steve Winwood is great. Agreed. I like it.
traffic.
Traffic stuff's great too.
He was on Voodoo Child with Jimi Hendrix playing keyboard.
He was a prodigy.
Yeah.
When he was a kid, he was all over that shit at like 16 years old.
He doesn't suck.
Casey, I'm glad. I'm glad that we inspired. Obviously, things have changed over here. We're not quite the same as we once were, but you know what? If it inspired you, that's what it's all about.
Here right now.
Yeah. Captain Retro's been digging on Greta Van Fleet for a minute, only because they're the new Zeppelin wannabes. You know what? I listened to the second album they released, and I'm like, there was like 3 songs. I'm like, this wouldn't be bad if they were just doing their own thing and not trying to sound like a fucking Led Zeppelin cover band. Have you heard any of their shit other than the singles?
Heard
Oh,
nothing. I've
okay, so
heard of
yeah, they can play, but they got no imagination. There lies the problem. Trent Reznor sucks. Overrated. I might agree on that one a little bit, but oh, in case you've been picking up the cheaper ones.
can't afford the good ones.
What's up, Jeremy? Well, I'm glad CM Retro turned you on. We're just talking music. We do this every week. We hang out, we talk music, rock and roll, just about anything. And we're also gamers. We collect video games. We collect all kinds of junk. So that's what we do over here for the most part.
Everybody shows their video games. So.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a trade show. I remember CM Retro did one of them.
He's done a multiple trade shows, and they're always a really good time. And it just sucks he does them on Saturday nights when I got to work.
Yeah. I've seen Nintendo's on there. That's a buddy of mine.
Yep,
Cool. Shout out to Joel.
I've traded with him before. All right, we got Corey O up in Maine. We got some banging tunes, some metal. I feel like it's tough with new metal too. I'm just like there's so much of it, and all these names just like blur.
Yeah.
They all once again have the same production. They all strive to sound like something as opposed to just kind of being what they are.
It's got to be hard for any new band that just started out and kind of got popular the last couple years, and then COVID hits you, and you can't play shows to make money, tour to get your name out there. Just got to I guess, rely on the internet. It's got to be hard now to get back out there. Even with bands that were doing it, like they've lost so much money. I can't even imagine just sitting there.
Well, get a job washing dishes. There you
Yeah.
go. Problem solved.
That's what we do, right?
Exactly. So I got no sympathy for any of these guys. Jeremy's saying you kind of look like Casey Affleck.
Who's that?
Ben's brother.
Cool.
Yeah, I could see that a little bit. Yeah. All right. That's a good one. You do a little bit like him. Captain Retro, we started a new horror film soundtrack in October, a movie called Nightmare. Going to be wicked fun. Carpenteresque style synth jams. Yeah, Carpenter's synth stuff is so good for the scores he did for his movies. Captain Retro, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out, man. Appreciate it. Jeremy liked that you're like, who is that about Casey Affleck? Yeah, we're down to our last 2 minutes here, guys. We have no Nick Grandchamp tonight because I'm guessing he didn't do his Van Halen homework is what it boiled down to. So he called out. Called in sick.
He was crying.
Couldn't handle Van Halen.
Nick Champ's crying.
So I went to the record store today.
Get that way. Oh, I'm sorry. My kids are random shit.
You got your kids. I got my cat here meowing for food.
They said they heard it. That's weird.
Yeah, I went to the record store today, and I found a bunch of stuff for next week's show to kind of show off and talk a little bit. Found some gems. Found some stuff I've been looking for years. I love that when you go into a record store and you're like, there it is.
I found this. I forgot to show this.
Oh, that's right. The Cross and the Switchblade. I looked up, so I did some research on that movie. It's from 1970, starring Pat Boone.
Yeah.
It was a religious movie, but I guess it flopped hard.
Yeah, I don't know, but the soundtrack's banging. It's
psychedelic,
funk, soul stuff. It's not bad. I don't know.
Instrumentals?
They're singing on some of it. most of it's singing, but it's really weird. I just got it off the cover, and it's still immaculate. You know, you go through records, and they're usually in real bad shape. So I was just surprised.
Richard Brian Kahn, I
Came out.
mean, that was a hell of a find. Do you know Discart, his channel?
Mm-mm.
Awesome channel. He does all his, like, the theme of his channel is showing how to display your video game collection. And he buys products to like test out. He does game tours of like other rooms. Like if you sent photos to him, you'd probably get on because the way you have your stuff is displayed and laid out, I know for a fact he'd use those photos.
That's cool. I try to adapt to the room I'm in. So I got a bigger room now, but I just can't. It's a
Well,
music.
that's what one of the shows he does on the channel. It's all about like how do you maximize what you have. So even if you got a little corner, like I mean, it's a genius idea.
He'd love my closets.
Oh, he would love the way you pack those closets. He's all about that. Just the display and how easy it is to get into.
Like Tetris in that motherfucker. Yeah, so I enjoy this. It was good. Like I listened to it last night. It's amazing. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, man. I don't know if I should keep it or
Keep
trade
it. I would hold on to that for a while at least.
or I could trade it to you eventually. If I
There you go.
don't.
I've never listened to the. I think he means Pat Boone's rock and roll album. Pat Boone I'm familiar with, but it's not like I've ever really listened.
Was he in Disney movies too? Pat Boone?
He might have done some Disney stuff, but yeah, I mean he was pretty safe. He was very very safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Discard. We last time I saw you was at Too Many Games. Yeah, I'm hoping this year. Obviously, I'm not going to too many games. It doesn't seem like the right time to do it.
Yeah.
So hopefully, down the road here we can get together again. That was fun. It was fun hanging out.
I feel like it'll be even worse prices wise than when we went.
These prices are rotten. I can't imagine going to the con and like being disappointed seeing these prices. So if you're like a collector, man,
Unless you're looking for garbage commons, even those won't be cheap, I'm sure, because they have to pay for their tables. So, man, I don't see anybody getting a good deal at Too Many Games, unfortunately. So I want to go. I've been thinking about it, but it would just be a day thing, like I usually do. I don't know. I don't know what I really want, and I'd have to trade up hard probably to get what I want. So I don't know. Still
Yeah.
yeah.
Tough calling that. Holy Diver with big band sounds. It's legit. All right. I'll look that up. I'm down to hear that. So guys, this is gonna wrap it up. We've been hanging out for the last hour with you guys. Thanks everyone that came in, said hello. That's what it's all about. Just
appreciate
have a good time talking some music because we all love video games here, but sometimes it's fun to change it up and talk some music.
Yes.
Hopefully you guys learned something, and yeah, we'll see you next week on the whole show there, same time, same channel. Have a good night, guys.